depends on the weather. If it's really dry and the track's steep and takes a lot of braking, we eat through them. So I reckon they do about 6 runs a tyre. In the wet, however, they don't seem to deteriorate quite as fast. So you kind of get a few extra runs out of them. They've got like a generic go-to dry setup, which these days seems to be 2.5 Assegai on the front and a 2.4 DHR2 on the rear. Laurie hasn't been on Max's for a long time, if at all, before, so he's still getting to grips with all the wet stuff. Greg's a big fan of the new shorty. Put it on for the first time here, I think, actually. And then rode it a bunch at home and was super surprised at how well it goes in that sort of slightly drier stuff with hard pack, so I think it could be a good go-to here.
Yeah, well, that's a nerd.
I reckon the DHR2 would be great on the boardwalk into this. Maybe a little bit of Assegai action in this freshly resurfaced berm. Woods, if it gets really wet, could be a wet scream. I mean, we've got all the options here, that's what's handy.
95.
I quite like this off-camber stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, it's cool how you never know quite how it's going to bed in, and normally you end up doing your kind of your warm-up finals and coming down for a quick look, so it's still developing up until finals. So.
Now they have a good mix. The bottom woods are still pretty sort of fresh dirt and gets rooty, wet, muddy. Top of the track's really all about, like, it is quite bike parky turns, and there's a lot of like cement type material on track. It does get soft though still and gets holes in it, so definitely a bit new school up top and old school down bottom.
So last year, I'm pretty sure I was on a shorty front Assegai rear, but I think I might just go straight to that decision again, just because I know how slippery the woods are going to be.
You're thinking dries, eh?
We are thinking muds.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to rain tonight.
It is. I mean, I thought we'd end up on muds, but... Because it was not after here that you did a bunch of time on shorties and were like, they're actually really good on hardback.
A shorty up front and I haven't figured out the rear. Something firm and bulky.
Double shorty though, in all seriousness.
Yeah.
Do you want to throw that 2.5 mil spacer in from the off?
Definitely. Definitely. Can't push the fork down more.
So we have just gotten to the pits, bright and early. Obviously we're in Leogang still. Pits haven't moved overnight. The weather has come in as we thought it would, or knew it would. So it's going to be a wet one today. Spikes are on, mudguards are out.
Got the wet screens on, cut down wet screens front and rear. Just trying to keep it firm enough and running through things, and get some grip out of the wheels and tyres.
Started on an Assegai, went to a shorty, and then went to a wet scream, and then back to a shorty. We're trying all the Maxis range. We'll have the dissectors out soon, Minion SS, why not? Shorty on the front, but she's running a DHR on the back, which she's enjoying. She doesn't want double wet, so yeah. Loving it.
It's actually pretty good fun to ride, but man, it's messy. Look at us. We're an absolute mess. Did the front up a bit and then I actually slowed the rebound down, just so the bike kind of kept out the way while I was trying to hop in these awkward holes and over awkward roots and stumps. So seems to have worked well, so I'm feeling a lot better. We've got the Maxis shorties, brother, front and rear.
We dropped them down to sort of what we usually run when things are a little bit wetter, and then we've actually gone back up to dry pressures because basically the ground's so soft that a slightly harder tyre like pushes the knobs through the dirt rather than the tyre sort of deforming, and he's getting a bit more traction out of them that way.
And what pressures are you running front and back?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know? 24 in the front, 26 in the rear.
tried to cut down wet scream on the front as well, just to try it really, but didn't feel so good on that. So yeah, time training now. Going to go back to shorties front and rear.
I'm happy that it's done. I'm happy I'm down in one piece. It got so horrible in the afternoon. So like the woods got deep, sticky, holes everywhere, ruts everywhere. It was quite nice in the morning, but now I was just struggling the whole time.
Day was great actually. It obviously rained a ton overnight, so the track was super wet this morning, which was actually really good because it was running really fast and there was tons of grip. Didn't get properly sunny, but the track did dry out a bit, which kind of made things a bit harder work. We had a few people chopping and changing tyres. I think Laurie started on Assegai front DHR rear, which was a bit of a bold choice. Then he changed to a cut wet scream. Greg started on shorties, stayed on shorties. Nina tried shorties and wet screams. Finished on double shorty. And then I think Jackson was on the double shorty as well by the end. Yeah, a lot of shorties, few screamers. Great day.